What up, y'all? It's the homie Dame. And now that the weather has started to turn colder and we all slowly freeze to death inside of our homes because heating is expensive, there's really only one thing that can take our minds off of the bleak reality of existence. And that's looking back on some of the best anime of 2024. That's right, it's the yearly video where I tell y'all my 10 favorite anime of the year. But also, because I have to meet my regular video quota of toxicity and negativity, I'm also gonna tell y'all my 10 least favorite anime of the year. Now, if you don't know, the way this works is that both lists will be in no particular order except for the final one, which will be my pick for anime of the year. And as for criteria, the only one that exists is that it has to have aired its first episode of the season in 2024. So for example, you're not gonna see Free Run on here. That was on the 2023 list. But yeah, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start out with the hating and negativity. Number 10 on my worst anime of 2024 list is Ninja Kamui. Very unfortunate because it started out so strongly, but it sure as hell didn't end strong. Oh my god. Now for number 10 on my personal list of best anime of 2024, I have Sound Euphonium Season 3. If you watch this channel, you may or may not know that Sound Euphonium is one of my favorite anime of all time, and this was one of my most anticipated shows of the year. I know there's some controversy with novel readers out there, or the source material readers, whatever, because there were some big changes towards the end of the season that I won't spoil, of course, but also, this season didn't have as many performances, which is a big part of the series. Me personally, I didn't mind all that much, because the character stuff was just written so well, and obviously KyoAni put on such a showcase with the animation and aesthetic, as they always do, you know. Number 9 on my list of worst anime of 2024, we're gonna be alternating back and forth if you didn't catch on to that already. I have Chained Soldier, a tragic addition on here because this was also one of my most anticipated shows of the year because I really love the manga. This is a dog shit adaptation, as much as I hate to say it, and plus Chained Soldier is a terrible localized title. Just go read the manga and pretend this doesn't exist, please. Number 9 on my list of best anime of 2024, I have the movie Look Back, and you can watch my reactions to this movie here, shameless plug, or you can watch the full unedited reaction here on Patreon. Oh my god, and even more shameless plug. This is the last time I'm gonna say this. Probably not, but I'll try to. But anyone who was getting on me for not liking the way the Chainsaw Man anime looked needs to watch this movie. Because you can go back and check the comments. Everybody was like, bro, Tatsuki Fujimoto's art style would be impossible to adapt faithfully on screen. The direction that Mappa took was the best that they could do. Hello? Hello, huh? What? I feel like the SpongeBob meme where he's pointing out the dirty diapers and shit. But side note, if you've seen the recent trailer for the upcoming Chainsaw Man movie, you know, I mean, it does look a little bit more faithful, so at least they're getting better at that. But yeah, Look Back, incredible movie that's an incredible adaptation of an incredible one-shot. And the best part is that it's less than an hour long, so it's basically an extended anime episode. It just adapts the source material perfectly while adding a few artistic interpretations where necessary. Because can you imagine if they tried to stretch out this one-shot over like a 2-hour movie? Like, what a nightmare. Number 8 on my list of worst anime of 2024, I have 2.5D Seduction. I guess this is a running theme for this year, disappointing adaptation for anime that I was really looking forward to. The thing is, this anime isn't even that bad, and I would actually probably recommend people to watch it, but it just doesn't do justice to the source material, and it makes a lot of weird changes that I didn't really like either. And yeah, just like Chained Soldier, I don't want these anime adaptations to turn people away from the original manga, so I mean, just go read that instead and pretend this doesn't exist. Number 8 on my list of best anime of 2024, I have Delicious in Dungeon. Y'all know I'm the #1 Studio Trigger dick rider in the Western Hemisphere, so I might have put this anime on here even if it was dog shit, but it is not, in fact, a dog shit show. Dog shit is the type of thing they'd be eating in this anime, but you know, that's besides the point. Yeah, Delicious in Dungeon is an amazing show that's more than meets the eye in many different ways. Again, I won't spoil anything, of course. If you want your fix for fantasy, comedy, surprisingly good action, and weird existentialism, this is the show you need to be watching. And you know, maybe this is a hot take, but I feel like Marcille was really giving Free Run a run for her money in terms of best elf of the decade. Number 7 on my list of the worst anime of 2024, I have Plus-Sized Elf. Once again, this follows the pattern of a terrible adaptation of a pretty good manga. The show looks like dog shit, which is crazy because it's supposed to be like a titillating ecchi, and trust me, no one but the most desperate of weebs is gonna be beating it to this show. Again, just go read the manga. It'll make you come a lot harder if that's what you're here for. Number 7 on my personal subjective list of best anime of 2024 is Blue Box. Now, you may be asking why Blue Box over all the other great romance shows shows that have come out, and the answer is, first off, there may be more romance anime on this list, so relax. And second, it's on here because I want to promote this video I did on it, as well as the uncut reactions on Patreon, only $5. Please subscribe, shameless plug. But yeah, Blue Box is very good. I think what sets it apart is just the simplicity of it all. It doesn't try to do too much or reinvent the wheel as far as romance goes, but it's just really solid and really well executed. Now, the sixth anime on my list of worst anime of 2024 is The Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2 Part 2. Look, I know it's cheap putting this on here because I dunked on it on last year's worst of list, but it's just such an embarrassment of a show. Again, this is all because of how much I liked the first season, so it felt like I was baiting into watching season 2. So I mean, now I'm obligated to slander it as much as I possibly can. Alright, number 6 on my list of best anime of 2024 is Yatagarasu. This is one that I actually didn't expect to be putting on here, but as I was going through shows that came out to pick the ones that were my favorite for this year, I had to go back and take a look at this one again. Because to be real, it took me a minute to really get into this show. It actually starts out super strong for the first 2 episodes or so, but then you kind of have to really know what you're getting into to enjoy the rest of it, in my opinion. Basically, what I can say without spoiling is that it's a sort of mystery drama series in a historical fiction setting, and it's also filled with a lot of Japanese mythology. Think of something like The Apothecary Diaries, right? But instead of cats, you got crows. I think it's a really good show that it might not be for everybody. I didn't even know if it would be for me, but as you can see, it turned out to be one of my favorite shows of the year, so yeah. Number 5 on the list of worst anime of 2024 is Vampire Dormitory. If you don't know what this is, it's like Ouran High School Host Club meets Twilight, which low-key sounds kind of fire, I'll admit, but unfortunately, Vampire Dormitory is a horribly embarrassing show. Look, I love shoujo anime and manga as much as the next manly man, but not this show. This is a show that's not very good. That's why it's on this list. Number 5 on the list of best anime of 2024 is The Dangers of My Heart Season 2. See? Remember when I said we'd get to more romance shows? This show is going back to back like the Celtics unfortunately might this year, because I had The Dangers of My Heart Season 1 on last year's top 10 list. What can I say? This is a good ass anime. I won't spoil anything that happens in Season 2, but it gets spicy, man. This ain't no will they, won't they on some nisekoi type shit. I think the best part about this show is just how well every individual part of it works, right? It works as a romance because the stuff between Yamada and Kyotaro feels very believable despite how wish fulfillment the premise kind of feels. It works as just a slice of life comedy because the two of them play off each other really well in a non-romantic context. And it works as an adaptation, unlike some of the shows on my worst of list. I'm a fan of the manga, and this anime adaptation by Shin Animation does it justice. So yeah, sue me for putting it on here 2 years in a row, but if it's good, it's good. Number 4 on my list of the worst, most absolute dog shit anime of 2024 is True Beauty. This is an anime based on a Korean webtoon, and let me just read you the plot summary on my anime list. Tired of being looked down upon for her unattractive appearance, middle schooler Lim Jung-yeon turns to the transformative powers of makeup. First, she experiments with BB cream, lip tint, and eyeliner. Then she begins using mascara, double eyelid glue, and colored contacts. Before she knows it, Jung-yeon goes from being a girl who is bullied for her ugliness to being praised as a high-class beauty. Constantly surrounded by those who adore her goddess-like appearance, Jung-yeon can now live a more than comfortable life at school. She simply has to keep her bare face a secret. However, everything changes when the new transfer student Lee Suho enters her life. Not only does the handsome Suho become immensely popular among their peers, but in a chance encounter, he also becomes the only classmate of Jung-yeon's to see her face beneath the makeup. With her reputation on the line, Jung-yeon must do whatever it takes to hide the truth about her appearance from the rest of her classmates, oh my god. But the more time she spends with Suho, the more Jung-yeon finds herself questioning whether one's true beauty lies solely in their looks. Oh, brother. Apparently there's a live action adaptation that's equally as embarrassing, so someone has to be consuming this shit and enjoying it. Which one of y'all is it? Come on, comment below. Which one of y'all is giving your money and attention to this dog shit ass series? Number 4 on my list of my favorite, best, most goated anime of 2024. Oh my goodness. It's something that should really come as no surprise to anyone. It's Monogatari. Monogatari is one of my favorite anime series of all time, and now that we have off season and monster season, it feels like it's Christmas for people who need to be in a cell with P. Diddy. But yeah, I'm glad I just watched this one on my own, even though a lot of people wanted me to record my reactions because Monogatari is obviously such a dense show that you need to lock in for, right? Not to say that the other shows on this list aren't like that, but for something that is so language based like Monogatari, you really need to be noticing the details and every little piece of dialogue every character says if you really want the full experience. Even watching with subtitles, because my Japanese is not what it once was, there's still a lot that I miss, and I just know people would have been cooking me. But yeah, no surprise, Monogatari is on here because it's very good. Number 3 on my list of worst anime of 2024 might be a controversial one because I know a lot of people like this and it was semi-popular, but it's Puchigiri. It's even more unfortunate because I'm a big supporter of when studios make their own anime originals with no source material, but yeah. Puchigiri is not very good. I can't even say it started out good and got worse, which is what some people are saying. I just wasn't even interested in it from the start. The plot hooks aren't that compelling, the characters are fine, I guess, but they don't really hold the show together, so it's like, what am I watching the show for? What am I supposed to get out of this besides depression and secondhand embarrassment? It's got a nice ending song though, so there's that. Number 3 on my list of my personal favorite anime of 2024 is another unsurprising one. It's ReZero Season 3. Honestly, me including ReZero on my list is a safer bet than betting on Drake to embarrass himself. Even with the fact that we're only halfway through the season at the time I'm recording this, I had to put it in. Cause even within these first few episodes, ReZero is firing on all cylinders, man. They're breaking out all the stops. Every episode has hit in every possible way. I mean, there's a reason why ReZero is one of my favorite anime series of all time, and this season has just proved that even more. Now, I'm anime only. I haven't read the light novels, so I don't know how all of this is gonna play out. But the story Tappei Nagatsuki is putting together is so compelling, it's so intricate, and with so many details that are fleshed out and meaningful. It feels like Monogatari, where the little things matter. And of course, I gotta give props to Studio White Fox for putting out what really feels like a passion project. I say this so much, y'all are probably sick of it by now, but you can really tell when a studio cares about what they're making versus when they're just making an anime just to make it. We all know how difficult it is to work in the anime industry. It's a thankless job that can literally be detrimental to your health. So when you see something like ReZero that shows craft, attention to detail, and a clear-cut, purposeful artistic vision, you gotta give it its flowers whether you like the show or not, because it's an achievement to make something like that. A bunch of people all the way from Tappei writing the novel to all the people at White Fox bringing it to life had a vision of something they wanted to create, and here they are creating it for us. Plus they got Amelia out here looking like Henri Okita, if you know what I mean. Number 2 on my list of terrible dumpster fire anime is Villainous Level 99. The show is bad. It's terrible. It's horribly embarrassing, and I had an amazing time watching it. If you just changed a few things, this could have been a so bad it's good show, but it doesn't quite hit, so unfortunately it's just bad. This is supposedly a comedy show, but all the comedy falls flat, but like I said, just a few changes could have made it a hit. Just make the show zanier. Like, I can tell this is a lower budget show, and I mean, there's nothing you could really do about that. But remember how just a second ago I was talking about anime passion projects? There's a world where you could have given this the Kaguya-sama treatment and turned it into like the best comedy ever. But again, that didn't happen. And now it's just another bad anime that I enjoyed watching because I love watching bad anime. Number 2 on my list of the best anime of 2024 is Girls Band Cry. Another shameless plug, you can watch my reactions to the anime here, but also watch this video I made talking about the girl band anime phenomenon in general. Girls Band Cry feels like an anime that was crafted especially for me. It has everything I like. It's music based, I work in music for a living, so seeing all the relatable stuff with the music industry and the realities of being a starving artist hits home. It has quick-witted, tongue-in-cheek comedy. I love a witty show. I love deadpan humor combined with zany characters. All of that is there. It's cartoony, of course, because, you know, it's a cartoon, but it's also down to earth and not too ridiculous. And finally, it's heartfelt. As much as I love my Evangelions and Berserks, we could use less cynical shows. The world sucks. We know. We live in it. I'm 47. I know how much the world sucks. We need more genuine, heartfelt stuff that celebrates the cheesy, corny shit like friendship, sticking to your values, having conviction, and remaining optimistic while persevering through adversity. That's all fun to watch. I'm not 14 anymore. I don't need edgy stuff or too deep for me type things. I'm perfectly fine watching a bunch of Japanese girls trying to make their way through the music industry. And you know, I haven't been giving too much plot summary, but if you haven't watched the show, you may be looking at the poster and the clips and you're like, what the fuck is this? What is this, Ruby with full CGI animation? Don't let that deter you. The computer generated animation is actually a bonus in this show's favor if you ask me. I think they pulled it off really well. But yeah, Girls Band Cry, incredible show, and it would have been my anime for the year if not for the number 1 pick, which we'll get to in a bit. But first, the number 1 worst anime of 2024, well, not the actual worst anime, just number 1 on my list, is Uzumaki. When will Junji Ito get the anime he deserves? Justice for Junji Ito. When will they stop butchering my boy's creations? And the worst part about it all is like the bait and switch that they pulled. The first episode was amazing. I reacted it in this video, shameless plug, not so shameless, I don't know. And it all went down the drain literally the next episode. Now, a lot of this had to do with a bunch of studio stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of behind the scenes politics that was going on that none of us will ever know about. Cause surely no one who worked on this was proud of the product that came out, but still, that doesn't change the fact that it was bad. Alright, now before we get to my pick for anime of the year 2024, let's go through a bunch of honorable mentions. First is Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Amazing show that you should go into 100% blind. I'm not even gonna say a hint of what the plot is. But yeah, a lot of people told me to watch this. I did. Didn't end up liking it as much as everyone else did because this isn't really my kind of show, but I still ended up loving it. It's kind of similar to how I felt about Yatagarasu. Next honorable mention goes to Oshinoko Season 2. Oshinoko Season 1 was on my top 10 list last year, and Season 2 is everything you loved about Season 1 and more. The reason that this isn't on the list proper isn't because it fell off or anything, it's just because every other show on there is so good I couldn't find a place to slide it in. But yeah, it's just as good. Go watch it. You probably did already watch it. Oh, and I have no comment about the ending of the manga. I'm honestly still digesting the whole thing. Another honorable mention goes to Konosuba Season 3. Konosuba, another one of my favorite anime of all time, and Season 3 was about as good as it gets with this show. So it sucks that I couldn't fit it onto the list, but you know, I can't just not mention Konosuba. Like, come on. Do you even know what channel you're on right now? Another honorable mention I want to bring up is Bleach 1000 Year Blood War: The Conflict. You thought I wasn't gonna have any battle shonens on here, right? Oh, Damian, he's too pretentious for battle shonens. He thinks he's too good for that. No, Bleach is good. 1000 Year Blood War is good. The 3rd season is good. No one is being pretentious here. If a show is fun to watch, I'll like it. It's that simple. And speaking of battle shonens, another honorable mention is My Hero Academia Season 7. You can say what you want about the state of My Hero Academia these days, whether it's how the manga ended or how the anime has had its ups and downs, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. And Studio Bones definitely came through when adapting one of the most important and hype arcs in this final act of the story. But you know, I can't just shout out shonens, I gotta put shoujo in my honorable mentions too. Natsume's Book of Friends Season 7. There has never been a bad season of this show. I don't think it's even possible for this show to be bad in any way. I mean, what is there to say? Just go watch the show if you haven't already. Another shoujo pick for honorable mentions, I want to shout out A Sign of Affection. I mentioned how there were a bunch of great romance anime this year when I was talking about Blue Box, and this is one of them. If I'm being honest here, this show and Blue Box are probably interchangeable as far as my top 10 list goes, because again, they're both incredible. But the final honorable mention is of course Dandadan. Unfortunate that I couldn't fit this on the main list, but I guess that goes to show how many strong shows there were. And again, you could probably switch this out with any of the ones on the top 10. Dandadan is one of my favorite ongoing manga right now, and I've been looking forward to this anime adaptation all the way back to the beginning of this YouTube channel. Back when I was the only one on the internet talking about this series from the day the first chapter released, but hey, let me chill. This is an incredible adaptation. You should go watch it, though you probably already have since it's popular as fuck for many reasons. Alright, now for the moment you all have been waiting for. My pick for the 2024 anime of the year is Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. Shameless plug again, check out this highlight video I made because it's pretty funny, if I had to say so myself. But yeah, one of the things I said during the reaction is that if you've been watching these little Japanese cartoons for as long as I have, you can get a sense of when something is going to be a classic. I'm not saying that it'll be the most popular thing ever on some Attack on Titan shit, but like a cult classic that will be remembered for a long time. I really believe that Makeine is one of these shows. It's something in the vein of like a Toradora or Angel Beats or something, where they finished airing years ago, but they still have their niche dedicated fan bases. They're still a relatively present part of anime culture, and people still recommend watching them to this day. 5 years from now, when you have those threads talking about recommend me some underrated hidden gem anime to watch, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be recommending Makeine. If you don't know the premise, it's about this dopey looking dude who hangs out with a bunch of girls who have been rejected by the guy they like. Hence, they're losing heroines. This is a show that has all the positive things I mentioned in the previous shows on my list. It shows craft and passion, meaning that the people worked on this show really cared and had a vision. It's clever and witty, the comedy hits hard and it got a lot of good laughs out of me, and of course, it's heartfelt. There's a lot of really touching moments that feel genuine, largely in part of how likable the characters are. And to top it all off, it has an amazing OST with, dare I say, one of the best anime openings of the year. What is there not to like? This is an amazing show. It's simple, it's tightly written, it knows what it wants to accomplish, and it's a visual treat too. But yeah, those are the best and worst anime of 2024 according to yours truly. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and leave a comment below talking about how much you disagree with my picks and how they're all wrong and that I should be put under the guillotine for daring to have an opinion on anime. But otherwise, I hope y'all had a good 2024, and I'll see y'all in 2025. Peace. Oh, you know what? I said Free Run wasn't eligible because it didn't have anything that started airing this year, but there technically was a 2024 Free Run release. Now that's the real anime of the year.